Well, I don't have to tell you that gas prices right now are some of the highest in history here in the US, topping near $4.17 in a lot of areas of the United States. But we're going to compare, is it worth it now at this time more than ever with those gas prices? Is it worth considering or buying a Tesla? Maybe you're thinking about buying one and you're slightly on the fence, or you just want to hear about the charging and some of the benefits. Let's get right into this video. And a quick plug, if you are considering buying a Tesla, please consider some of the best accessories that I have used in the description below. This is after me driving 10,000 miles in the description. But let's get into this video. We're going to break it down into a few sections. We're going to talk about the gas prices and how much it's going to actually cost you to charge your Tesla, how you're being charged for that charging, and the frequency that you're going to have to charge. And finally, we're going to give you an end result and tally up exactly how much a Tesla can save you in gas. Now, right now, like I mentioned, gas prices are some of the highest on record, and the average car has around a 16 to 18 gallon tank. And don't worry, we're gonna keep this pretty brief, but on average, you're gonna be spending well over $40, $50, sometimes $60 just to fill up that tank. So we're gonna go into how much does it cost to charge your Tesla. Well, most folks are going to be charging their Tesla at home, where you are being charged based on the kilowatt hour. Now, in a lot of cities, there are free chargers. Now, these are public chargers separate from Tesla's superchargers. So just know that they're separate, but there's a big performance difference. Now, a lot of these public chargers are going to give you around 25, maybe 30 miles an hour per charge. So you can't really rely on these chargers on a daily basis to leave your car there overnight, let's say, in a public lot somewhere. Now, that's perfectly fine if you're okay with that, but just know it's going to be a relatively slow charge versus a supercharger, which will charge you by the kilowatt hour and higher than what you're going to be charged at home. And this charger at a supercharger can give you 250 to 300 miles per hour in charge. So the average supercharger costs around 25 cents per kilowatt hour. Now the home kilowatt hour, what you're going to be charged at your house, varies from that. So let's just take a quick pause. I'm going to show you some concrete numbers. So how much does it cost? We're talking about kilowatt hours and superchargers. Just tell me how much does it cost to charge a Tesla and how much money I'm going to save. Well, let's just get right into that. Now, 95% of my charging, you can see this on your app. So if you're considering buying a Tesla, you're going to have all of this data as knowledge to you. It's information, it's free, it's on the app. So based on the past 31 days, I only spent $64 to charge my Tesla. Now, if I were to fill up a comparable car, it would cost me around $219, and this was a savings of $155 in the past 31 days. So how does it really know this? What is the app considering when it says the gas equivalent and how much you're saving? Well, I have a Model 3. So for similar sedans in the Pittsburgh area and the gas prices as they are right now, actually, that number is probably a lot higher than the past 31 days because we just recently, at the time of making this video, saw a huge jump in gas prices. So you're gonna save around $150 to $200 plus in gas, depending on what you're considering trading in. But let's go over exactly how frequently you're going to have to charge, because everybody's complaint about an electric vehicle is, well, you're gonna be spending all this time charging while I fill up at the tank and it takes me 30 seconds. Well, that's great, but what else are you doing overnight? If you are charging at your home, you're probably sleeping overnight, right? Well, that's when your Tesla is charging. So it's really not getting in the way of anything. You can charge your vehicle while you're sleeping, so you're not going to have to use the car, obviously, overnight unless an emergency were to happen. But how frequently do you have to charge? Well, I have the standard range, which is now called the rear wheel drive. It's the base model, Model 3. So this car gets me around 220 to 250 miles on a full charge. And when I say a full charge, 100% of my battery gives me around 245 miles. And when I charge to 90%, more on the daily commute, 90% charge gets me around 220. I have to charge every 2 to 2.5 days, depending on what I'm doing during that week. So is a Tesla worth it right now? Well, number one, gas prices are some of the highest we've seen on record. Number two, we save around $150 to $200+ off of that monthly payment that you're going to pay for your Tesla. And then number three, we charge maybe 2 to 3 days. And when we are charging, most likely at our house, it's going to be overnight when we're not using the vehicle anyway. And we're not even going to talk about the insane performance, like the acceleration, the technology, and the awesome look of a Tesla. Let's focus on the charging. I want you to know exactly how you're going to be charged whenever you plug in your car and some ways to actually save some money. So does it make sense to get a Tesla gas versus electric? Well, let's go over, like I said, exactly how you're charged when you're at home charging your Tesla, and it's by the kilowatt hour. So if you're unaware, that is how your energy is measured by the electric company. And here in Pittsburgh, you're paying around 14 cents for kilowatt hour. And based on my Model 3 and the usage of those kilowatt hours, I am paying, like I said, around $65, maybe $70 a month to charge up my car. But what are some ways to save even more money on your low cost of charging a Tesla? Well, that is in your settings, and you can actually choose to charge during off-peak hours. And those are the off-peak hours, overnight hours, where less customers, less demand of electricity is being used, and subsequently you'll be paying less for that kilowatt hour. So you know roughly how much it's going to be per month, how much you're going to save, and how you're charged. Well, does it make sense to buy a Tesla versus a gas-powered car based on the resale value? And this is something that I do not see enough channels talking about. Well, think about the old adage that as soon as you drive it off the lot, it loses 30% of its value or whatever it happens to be. Well, a Tesla, if you're unaware, has over-the-air updates that happens through your Wi-Fi, and it's constantly getting fine-tuned and new features that are making the car even more valuable. And being that the demand is sky high right now and supply is limited, what is the resale value? Well, a lot of Tesla owners have seen their cars, especially when you're selling to a private buyer, going for more than what they purchased for. And you can think about the old adage, as soon as you drive it off the lot, it loses 30% of its value when we're talking about those gas-powered ICE vehicles, the traditional cars. Well, a Tesla, like we just said, there's so many examples, and I have even had my car appraised by companies like Vroom and Carvana. The resale value on Teslas is absolutely huge. So hopefully you learned something on the gas savings, some of the benefits to charging at home, the frequency and how you're being charged, and some things to think about when you're comparing gas versus EV. So what's your final decision? Is it gas or is it EV? Well, with those cost savings, it definitely makes it enticing, even with the upfront cost, to consider a Tesla because of the amazing features of the car and the cost savings. If you do like this content, the only way I know that you enjoyed it is to drop a like. Again, this is Matt from Frunk to Trunk. Make sure to subscribe and check out those accessories in the description, and we will see you in the next video.